welcome to the Hieroglyphics Game Journal discussion video. My name is Garv, and today I'm going to go a little bit out of the game realm, and we're going to just talk about something interesting, like Godzilla. So Godzilla vs. Kong came out recently, and so me being a huge Godzilla fan, I thought it would be just a little interesting to just go off into some Godzilla lore. Why? Because why not? Because it's Godzilla, right? So, I think that this is a good opportunity to just talk about something Godzilla. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is the discussion on why Godzilla did not kill Kong. Now, before we go on, I do want to say that there are going to be spoilers. So if you do not want spoilers for not just Godzilla vs. Kong, but any of the Godzilla lore or movies or books or anything, then I would recommend that you stop right now. Spoiler alert. Spoiler. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I want to take a look at Godzilla and why Godzilla did not want to kill Kong. And why he didn't kill Kong. And I think in order to do this, we need to look at Godzilla as a whole, as a character in the legendary or monsterverse. And so let's first start with Godzilla as a character. Godzilla as a character, I think Adam Wingard says in the beginning, in one of the interviews that he did, that Godzilla is largely misunderstood. And I think that that's the first part where we need to start, because I think that is a major, key, important point if we want to look at motivations and what makes Godzilla as a character tick. And so, because we know that Godzilla is misunderstood, then that means that the accounts of humans in the movies, books, comics, and whatever need to be taken with a grain of salt. Mainly because we can't trust 100% that what they say is right, because they don't really understand Godzilla as a whole and as a character. They think they do, but they don't. And I'll apply this same reasoning to Kong as a character too. And I say that because if we think about Kong as a character, just think for a second that when they find out that Kong can understand sign language, they're totally blown away. They have no idea that Kong could even have that level of intelligence. But more than that, they think that they understand what Kong's motivations are, but they don't. Kong doesn't trust them at all. And he realizes that people as a whole are manipulative, and they're just not, they can be good, but sometimes they're just not good people. And therefore, he's on his guard around people, which he should be. And it's a smart move, Kong. And so I think that's also true for Godzilla. They think they understand Godzilla, but really they don't understand Godzilla. And so I think that means that they don't understand why Godzilla does what Godzilla does. Now, I waited to do this video until I picked up and read Godzilla Dominion, now, which is a comic that just came out yesterday. Now, the thing is, I was thinking that comic would get more into the lead up to Godzilla vs. Kong, but I was a little disappointed with that because it doesn't really. It basically takes place right after King of the Monsters, or somewhere not too long after that happens. And so we don't get into the Godzilla vs. Kong, why he does things in Godzilla vs. Kong. We don't really get into that. And so I'm a little disappointed about that, but I do think that the story is told from Godzilla's point of view. And because of that, I think it gives us very good insight as to why Godzilla does what Godzilla does. And one of the things that's most interesting about this comic, which is why I mentioned it in the first place, is that it does a good job of showing that Godzilla does not kill things and always looks at things on a case-by-case basis. And there are multiple things that happen in this comic. And I don't want to spoil it because I think that you should read it. It's a really good comic, so I recommend it. And I think that Godzilla looks at each event that happens in the comic, and he decides what needs to happen in that. Do they need to save somebody? Somebody need to die? Do I just need to make a statement here? Do I just need to stop them from doing whatever they're doing? And so on and so forth. And as we see him, which is, I like to think about it as the day in the life of Godzilla, because that's kind of what it seems like. But you get to see him kind of going from place to place and just kind of looking at events. But he also has this connection to the world, the planet as a whole. He can sense when things are going down, and so he can go over there and check it out. I see he senses something strange going on, so he goes over there and he checks it out, and that's, what happens. And I think that if we start with Godzilla's main role, which is to protect the planet, that is his job first and foremost, and he does it with focus. And I think that's what makes what he does important, and it helps understand his motivations. Planet first, everybody else second. So he wants to keep the balance of everything, and that is his goal. But he doesn't care too much about things that happen in between species. He doesn't really care too much about things going extinct. He doesn't care too much about wars that humans fight and so on and so forth. He's just not into that. As long as it doesn't change the overall balance of the world, then he's okay with whatever. Kong's folks fighting the skull crawlers, no problem. They're going to fight it out, and that's just their job, and he's not going to show up to protect anybody. He doesn't pick sides, and he just lets the natural order take its place. Except for cases where it's going to affect the world as a whole. So that means that in Godzilla 2014, we'll start there, we see the Mutos that are about to have children. And if you saw the number of eggs that the female had, then you understand that if they do have children, then this is bad. This is bad for everybody. So Godzilla shows up. He takes care of them. Now notice, Godzilla doesn't show up when they originally pop up. He doesn't take care of the eggs that are there. He lets the male Muto go to Japan and wreak havoc and sit there for 15 years. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything until both the male and the female Muto start talking. Then he starts paying attention to what's going on. And I guess within that conversation, he must have realized that the female's like, hey, I got kids. Like, I'm ready to do this thing. And so Godzilla's like, whoa, that can't happen. So he shows up and he takes care of them. And then in Godzilla King of the Monsters, the interesting thing about that movie is that before Ghidorah is even released, he already knows Ghidorah's coming. How? I don't know, but he does. He knows Ghidorah's coming. So he goes to the humans and he tells them, hey, human guys, something crazy is going on or about to happen. I'm letting you know before I go over and take care of it. But he lets the humans know that Ghidorah is coming or something is coming that's bad. And then he goes to take care of it. If he didn't care, then he wouldn't have done anything. Same thing with when he goes in 2014, when you see the ships, he goes under them or around them. He ignores them. He doesn't destroy them. Even when they're shooting at him at the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and also when he arrives in Hawaii, he doesn't retaliate. He doesn't, get angry and take the humans out or anything. He doesn't do any of that. He basically is focused, go do what I have to do, and go home. I'm not concerned about the humans. I'm not concerned about this other stuff. I just have a job to do, and I'm going to go do it. But if I don't have to kill things, then I'm not going to. And so, I guess he figures that if you see me coming, you get out of the way. And if you don't get out of the way, then that's on you. And I think that that's an interesting way of looking at Godzilla and his relation to what happens in his world. But Godzilla does deal with things and think about things as they happen. And so with that, we can think, okay, so we know that Godzilla just doesn't kill things willy-nilly. Like, there has to be some reason that he's going to go and kill them. And so, therefore, when we think about Godzilla versus Kong, why doesn't Godzilla kill Kong? Well, I think that this has a lot to do with what Godzilla's priorities are in that movie. Godzilla's priorities in Godzilla vs. Kong is to take out Mechagodzilla. That is his job in that movie, because Mechagodzilla is going to definitely upset the balance. Not just for him, but what happens when they use Mechagodzilla to take out other Titans? Like, let's say they take out Godzilla, and then they go and take out every other Titan. This isn't just bad for Godzilla, this is bad for everybody. If the humans can subjugate the other Titans and draw them out of their natural habitats and whatever, then this is going to upset the overall balance of the Earth and the world, and therefore Godzilla has to put a stop to it. And so Godzilla knows about this before anybody else. So anybody who says that Godzilla isn't intelligent, I don't understand that, because Godzilla was working on a whole different plane compared to everybody else. When Godzilla goes to destroy, that Apex facility in Pensacola, Florida, he goes there. Everybody else is going, "Oh my God, why did Godzilla do this? Oh no!" But Godzilla it's like, "Hey man, I'm trying to take care of this thing." Nobody asked any more questions besides Godzilla just attacked the place. And the thing is, Godzilla even let him know he was coming. Because as he's coming in, he's lighting up. He roars to let him know, "I'm coming." And then he shows up, takes care of business, and leaves. And you think about it, the report, like when you look at the screen, it's like 8 dead and some injury. And so he comes in, he does that, and only 8 people got killed. And a lot of them were probably in the jets flying around because, he's smacking them and shooting them and stuff. And so, yeah, you probably got some stragglers, people who were in the building or whatever who got killed. And so, yeah, he did it with a low number of casualties. He let them know he was coming. And then he took care of, what he needed to take care of, and he left. So if we take that and we look at, well, okay, so he attacked Kong. But I think that the Kong situation, the first time that he fights Kong, I think that this is more about Godzilla trying to keep Kong from being used as a pawn or used against him in some way. Once they moved Kong, and then the Apex guys show up, because Apex guys show up before Godzilla attacks that place. The Apex people show up. They're going to take Kong to Hollow Earth. Godzilla shows up. But remember, Godzilla doesn't destroy things if he doesn't have to. So the first thing he does after they shoot at him is start destroying ships. Now, we've already seen that Godzilla will, even when getting shot, will just ignore stuff most of the time. But in this case, he didn't. He actually starts destroying, wreaking havoc. And then he goes to take care of Kong. And I think that his point for taking care of Kong is to let Kong know, 1, don't get involved in whatever it is that it's about to go down. And 2, I'm letting you know, Kong, that I'm watching and I can take care of you if I need to. So it's more of dominance and more of get out of the way. Don't do anything. Now, some people said, well, wait a minute. Godzilla's dragging Kong down to the bottom of the ocean. He's trying to drown Kong. But I think we do not see what actually happens with that event. We only see him dragging him down. We see them dropping the depth charges. And then next thing we know, we see some bubbling on the top. And then at some point, Kong comes back up. And I think that at that point, Godzilla lets Kong go. I don't think that the depth charges had anything to do with what's going on. Mainly because if Godzilla really wanted to kill Kong, Kong is helpless on that cargo ship. He could have easily just gone over and finished him off. But he didn't, because the point was to scare the crap out of Kong and basically tell him, dude, look, I am in charge here and I'm telling you to stay out of whatever it is. But more than that, if we think about this as a chess game, then Kong is a chess piece on the board. So if he removes Kong from that, they can't go to Hollow Earth and they can't use Kong against him later on. So if you take Kong out, then that means that everything's, it's all good. So that means that Godzilla is mainly just trying to take Kong off the board. And, there might be a little bit of, I want to poke this guy because, there was some rivalry between him and Kong's ancestors way back in the day. And so therefore, he's ultimately going, yeah, well, I'm just going to, rib the guy a little bit. And so, yeah, I don't think that he had any intention of killing Kong. I think it was more like, I'm sending you a message and I'm just letting you know. And I think that that's pretty apparent because right after that, they take Kong to the Hollow Earth hole and they're like, Kong, go in there. Kong's like, nope, I don't have anything to do with this. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to get involved in whatever that is. I don't have anything to do with it. He's like, I don't want to get involved in this. And so again, Kong's whole thing in this movie is that he gets manipulated by the humans to do stuff that he really doesn't want to do. And I think that is Kong's story in a nutshell. He just wants to go home, chill, eat some food, and relax. Like, he's not interested in all this other stuff. And so, the humans again manipulate him. And again, the humans do not understand Kong. Kong just wants to go home. And he's not interested in this other stuff. And they end up tricking him into going to the Hollow Earth and taking him down there in the whole nine. But I do think that Kong fights Godzilla mainly because he thinks Godzilla's trying to kill his friends. But also, I think there's a little bit of, I have something to prove now. I have something to prove. I've got this axe, and I've got something to prove. And I think that Godzilla as a whole at that point is like, well, okay, he's in the way, so let me just go ahead and take care of him real quick. But the other piece to that is when Godzilla leaves Kong there, some people are like, he tried to kill Kong. But when Godzilla leaves him, Kong's still breathing. Kong tries to get back up. As far as Godzilla is concerned, I just knocked him out. I'm done. He moves on. If he wanted to kill Kong, he could have done it. But he didn't. He didn't kill him. People are like, he's got this warrior spirit thing. I don't think there's any of that either. I think he just, didn't want to kill Kong in the beginning. He just wanted Kong off the board. And in the end, he gets that because Kong is taken off the board. Now, granted, later on, this becomes a little bit of an issue, but ultimately, Godzilla just didn't want Kong getting in the way. And he goes to take care of it, and he does. But I think that the humans themselves did not understand the whole story. And they didn't understand Godzilla, obviously. Godzilla's working up here. They're working down here. They never even thought that maybe Apex could be doing something wrong or terrible or something. There must be some reason why he only attacked that place and only 8 people died. You know what I mean? That it has to be some reason for that. But nobody asked any real questions except Madison and her group. Though you would wonder and you would think that Madison's father would have asked more questions. You know what I mean? Like they would have asked why. But I also think that that's the villainy of Apex as a company comes out also because they also use that as PR to say, "Hey, look, Godzilla's attacking us. So he's the bad guy. You know, he's bad. Don't look at what we're doing over here. It's Godzilla. He's bad. You know, he's doing bad stuff." And so, you know, you can understand why some people would buy that, but you would think that people who understand Godzilla as a whole wouldn't go, "Well, gee, Godzilla just doesn't do stuff willy-nilly, so there must be some reason for this." And so, yeah, I think that's the main reason why we're led to believe that Godzilla is the villain, but Godzilla actually isn't the villain. He's actually just trying to stop people from getting in the way of what he has to do, which is ultimately take down Mechagodzilla. So anyway, I hope that lays some ideas down on why Godzilla did not kill Kong in multiple times. He could have, but he didn't. And if you read Godzilla Dominion, I think also you see there too that Godzilla just doesn't kill things willy-nilly if he doesn't have to. I thought also the fact that, you know, he kind of saves those kids and people on the bridge in Godzilla 2014 when he comes up and the missiles hit his dorsal plates and stuff. I thought that gives some indication that he's not necessarily going around just, you know, being the villain. And so I think that if you look at the movie as Godzilla's not the villain, then I think that it works out quite well. And you can understand why Godzilla wasn't trying to kill Kong and didn't want to kill Kong. And that, I feel like, makes the most sense. All right. So if you have any questions or you have comments about this, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll be checking them out and seeing what's going on there. And also, if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. And we're going to go ahead and leave that right here. And you guys have a great day. And I appreciate you taking the time to look at my Godzilla video. And hopefully we'll do more things like this in the future. And you guys have a great day. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control, and not the other way around. Let them fight.